Hello, my friends, and today we are back with another video. My name is Jackie, and we are starting a new series. This is the Chronicles of Narnia. Now, I have chosen to start with The Magician's Nephew. It depends on publication order and chronological order. I personally like chronological order. If you can see behind me, I have the Scholastic version that I picked up when I was very young. And so we are going to go ahead and we're going to get started on those. Now, of course, this is by C.S. Lewis. It is a childhood classic. And it's a classic. I love this story. And I thought, you know what? I need a little break. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to read those. And then from there, we will go on to something a little bit more adulty. But for right now, we're going to start with these. Now, I do think that I'm probably going to do one video for multiple books. So we're starting with The Magician's Nephew, and then from there, we are moving on to The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And after that, we have, I believe it's A Horse and His Boy. Now, obviously, ignore the cover on here. It's been through some stuff. We don't want to talk about it. We don't shame our books. Anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and get started on those, and I will probably get back to you after finishing The Magician's Nephew. It is only 201 pages, so it's going to move pretty quickly. I think the second one's right around the scene. Yeah, we're looking at 189 for The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So, I mean, yeah, we'll definitely do these three in this video and then go on from there. So, and I was debating on whether or not to do spoilers, but seeing as how this is a classic and it's also been made into movies, I think I'm going to go ahead and throw a few spoilers in there. If it becomes too much, I apologize. Please let me know in the comments below, and we will try to remedy that for next time. So, all right, on with the reading. Hello, friends. So I just got done with The Magician's Nephew, and I loved it. It's a super cute, very whimsical story. Our main character, we have a young boy named Diggory, and his dad is in India, and his mom is very sick, and so he has to move in with his aunt and uncle. And it's just it's a really fun story about how he takes this super boring day and he turns it into this magical adventure, and he discovers a new enchanting land and new friends, and he ends up saving his mom, and he ends up starting the whole story that we have with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So I am really looking forward to getting started on the next one. So I'm going to go ahead and dig right into that. I'll see you guys again real soon. Hello, friends. So last night I finished The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So we're going to go ahead and do a quick little tidbit about that, and then we're going to move on to The Horse and His Boy. We started off with four siblings. We have Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy. They are leaving London during the Second World War air raids and being shipped out to the country to go live with some family because it's not safe being in London. And during this, they find a magical land inside of a wardrobe. Now, I'm sure you could have guessed that there was a wardrobe, there is a magical lion, and there is a witch. So we now have the premise of the book. They go ahead and help this magical land. They help the magical lion, and he, saves them from bad things. And it's an amazing story. It's super, super fun, super whimsical, super, adorable. And it's just a nice, so anyways, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started on The Horse and His Boy. We do still have 4 more books after this because this is a 7-book series. So we also have Prince Caspian, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Now, all 3 of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe Prince Caspian and The Voyage of the Dawn Treader were all made into movies, so they are out of order. Just be aware of that. After Voyage of the Dawn Treader, we have The Silver Chair and The Last Battle. I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put all 4 of those into a separate video, so just be aware of that. We will go ahead and get started on this, and I will give you a quick, I'll give you a full rundown on the first 3 books at the end of this. So, all right, happy reading. Hello, friends. So I'm going to do just a quick little follow-up. I just got done with The Horse and His Boy. So we have officially read the first 3 books. I'm going to do a quick little of all of them. This one is by far my least favorite out of the series. I knew that going into this. I have already read them. But to do a quick recap, you have a new main character in this one. His name is Shasta, and it's his story about him and a talking horse. And they're not residing in Narnia. They are trying to get to Narnia. So it's different than the first. Well, the first one technically wasn't, about trying to get to Narnia, but it is about Narnia. So it kind of, all together, like they all just kind of together. I did enjoy reading it. Like I just said, it's just not my favorite out of all of the books. And like I said, I knew going into that was the case. So going forward, I'm very excited that I started this series again. The Magician's Nephew is, of course, one of my favorites. And without The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, it sets the pace for the entire rest of the series. I, again, highly recommend that if you have not read these, that you do this one. Though it's not my favorite, it is still a really fun read. It's got that same kind of cozy but not cozy situation because it's an adventure. We're talking about these. They're children, but they're not children. They're all, roughly in between the ages of, I think in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, I think Lucy is like, I don't know, maybe 10 or so. So she happens to be like the youngest character that you'll see. And then this one, I would say he's probably 16-ish. I don't know. So, but they don't really explain it. Other than to say the way that it's written makes it sound as though he's probably somewhere between 16 and 18. Definitely not any more than that. And so I'm really enjoying rereading these. I am having a really rough week, so it's kind of hard to get into them, but I'm very much looking forward to getting to Prince Caspian. I did already start it, but I will go ahead and start a new video for that just so we can have a little bit of a break in there because 7 books altogether. I mean, I realize that these are very short books. All of them are ranging right around 200 pages or so, but I do think that if we were to take all 7 of them, I mean, we've got 1,400 pages and it spans so many different, stories that it becomes just too much. So this way we've got them kind of broken up a little bit. I do very strongly recommend that you go into this knowing that they are all interconnected but separate books, but you do have to read them in order. Otherwise, I mean, you can mix up some of them. The published order versus the chronological order is 2 different things. A lot of times you'll see people that will start with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe first. You'll see how these 2 get mixed around a lot. It just kind of depends on whether or not you're reading them in their intended order or when they were published. So there's that. I always read them in chronological order because
I mean, mine are all numbered. So I don't even try to read them in published order. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. If you've begun reading them or if you have read them in the past, please let me know down in the comments below. I highly recommend that, like I said, if you have not read them, please read them. And I also recommend that if you have read them, go ahead and watch the movies. And if you haven't read them, but you've seen the movies, read them, because they contain so much more than what the movies have given us. They're great movies. They're not necessarily my favorite because I do feel like they leave some stuff out and they take some liberties with the movies that I'm not super, super fond of, but I enjoyed them nonetheless. So anyways, if you have had a chance, let me know what you think. Of course, make sure that you like and subscribe and tell your friends and just let me know, let me know down below what you think of everything. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful time with this. And thank you again for everybody who is watching. I know right now we've got kind of this bouncing going on with all the different books and genres that I am reading. And that's primarily because I like to skip around with my books. I don't like to read one genre straight through. I'm actually currently also reading Don Quixote, and I will be reading Pen Pal here shortly. And then I'm also reading the, I believe it's called The Immortal by Ivy Marie. Not 100% sure because I haven't actually started it. I just have it on my stand to start tomorrow, actually, because I know that I'll be finishing this one tonight, so then I can go ahead, and I usually try to read about 3 books at a time. So anyways, if you're following along, you'll see that there's a lot of bouncing up and down. If you have a suggestion for a book that I should read, let me know and I will see if I can get to it here in the near future. I've got, I don't know, approximately 40 books that I'll be working on throughout the next month, but I'm hoping to finish. I've got a cart and I'm hoping to finish that cart by the end of August. So we'll just see though, because August is always pretty chaotic. So anyways, everybody, again, thank you and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.